Okay, so just a quick video here on preparing the spec sheet, which is the first step in getting our marketing together. So within the M360 template folder, you'll see there's a property spec sheet template that we'd like to use. And so basically what this gives you here is a template that we use for preparing all of our marketing for each of our properties. And you'll notice on the bottom here there's a flip spec sheet and a whole spec sheet. So obviously depending on the deal, you pick the right template that you want to use in this case. And so I'm going to go ahead and just create a spec sheet here for a new property we have in O2. And so you basically just systematically kind of work your way down and completing the information. The very top would just be a header description for this particular deal. So in this case, we have a property in 78702, which is a new build. So we can just describe it as a new build opportunity. And again, the titling is really kind of at your discretion. So working, between dispositions and acquisitions, you can figure out the right title. And then from there, we're basically just going through and completing the information. So obviously putting in the complete address, purchase price, and really a lot of this data is being pulled from the Rehab Valuator software. So obviously just referring to the training video on that will give you instructions on how to get this information. Obviously referring to Podio as well will give you all the correct information. So it's just a matter of systematically going through, putting in the information into these fields. The description, again, pulling that from the deal whiteboard, property description. Also, soliciting some feedback from our dispositions manager or the acquisitions team, just to make sure we have a brief but compelling description of this opportunity. Is really important, and then we want to include that in this box here. The next line 9 here is a link to the marketing folder in Google Drive, which will be created and include things like any sort of photos that we have, comparable sales, sold, lease comps if applicable, maybe a survey, realist report, inspection report. So really any documentation that we want to publicly share is going to be contained in that marketing folder. And so you'll just want to work with me to get that link, which I can pull from Google Drive and send to you to insert into this table. And that link would also be included in the MailChimp that will be sent out. As you work your way down, again, just compiling the correct information, most of which is available in the realist for this particular property, which you can find in Podio. Obviously keeping in mind, whether it's a new build or not, just verifying some of the assumptions around square footage of the home is important. Obviously if this being a new build opportunity, I'd want to update it to show a year built of 2017, and then whatever the bed bath count is, square footage, etc., and build that out. And then really the last component of this is completing the numbers, the data on the two scenarios that you will have created in the Rehab software. So obviously our first scenario assumes a cash purchase. The second scenario is a finance purchase. And you basically just work through line by line, including the information, and that should basically conclude it. So once that's all done, we'll want to obviously ensure that we save it into the property folder, and I'll just go there quickly just to show you what we like to do. So this was 1408, so I would just take it, I would rename it obviously to the correct address, property spec sheet, and that sits in the main folder. And then what we always like to do is actually save it as a PDF. And you'll want to just make sure that your print area is set up to capture just this spreadsheet area, and then you save as a PDF. There we go. And what we like to do is we actually like to save the PDF in the marketing folder because we want that to be publicly available to people. So again, you don't have to rename it, but you'll want to ensure that it's being saved in PDF format in the marketing folder for this given property. And I save it. That's great. and it will create a PDF. And then really the last step in the process, so once you have your PDF created, is we want to take a screenshot of this table, because we include this in our marketing MailChimp as a JPEG. So simply just taking a screenshot of the bottom portion of the table, I find, is typically sufficient enough. And then I save that as a JPEG into that same folder again. You don't even have to rename it because it's not going publicly out. We just save it. And then once you go into your MailChimp and you're preparing your MailChimp, then you can simply just upload this as a photo into the MailChimp campaign. So that's